Everybody, this is Jeff Veale, the business guru, coming to you from, no, not downtown Manila. I'm on an island at the moment in Boracay, a beautiful luxury island where it's all sand, surf, and lovely restaurants, having a wonderful time, but I'm still working. You know, I'm passionate about work, guys, you know that. And I've got a wonderful guest on today, and he's equally as passionate as what I am. He's done this stuff not as long as me, too. His name is Russell Pearson, and Russell is a founder of Forge Business Program, and the industry is business growth. He knows a bit about it. He's been in the industry for 30 years. And guys, nothing happens without marketing. Nothing, right? Who's number one in the world for hamburgers? McDonald's. Who's number one in the world for fried chicken? Kentucky Fried Chicken. Who's number one in the world in general for pizza? Pizza Hut. What have they got in common? They're all crap, but they got great marketing. That's why they're number one. Right, so off that subject, back to onto Russell. We are the consultants other consultants come to when they want to grow their business, and that's his proud boast. His key achievements or projects: he's proud of his 3 children, Hall of Fame for Professional Speakers Australia. That's pretty awesome. Personal motto is very close to mine: stay passionate. And we haven't got a business; we've got a passion. So it's so much fun, guys. You get up every morning, you have fun. Right, and the other thing he's got in spades too is integrity. So passion and integrity, they're my 2 mantras, guys. Interesting fact about himself, he's a blacksmith. And he can tell you what a blacksmith, a lot of you people won't know what a blacksmith is. I knew, I watched too many Western movies. And one of 5 boys whose names all begin with R. So we're going to talk about his contact information a bit later, but it's my great pleasure to welcome to the stage, all the way from Melbourne, Russell. How are you, my friend?
I'm very good, Jeff. Thank you for having me on.
No trouble at all. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue your current career path.
Yeah, okay. One of 5 boys, all under age of 7. I'm the oldest. Russell, Richard, Robert, Rhett, and Royce. Competitive back then.
I bet it was.
The last chicken bone on the table and that sort of gear. But so I was sort of born to the competitive nature of the things that I did. And I actually, my father wanted me to be an art restorator. So, like, I was good at art as a child, and I sort of mixed the world of commercial and art, and got to that commercial artist, graphic design sort of role, and I became a graphic designer. Mm. That got me into the advertising space because that's where the money was being made in brand marketing and advertising. I did a lot of that through the 90s, and we worked at large pharmaceutical companies when they had a lot of money back in the 90s. Now they have money again after COVID. But I was exposed to lots of different businesses, and I really took to the brand side of marketing. That's a real passion of mine. And about 9 years after working with other people, I started my own business, Crimson Fox. Crimson Fox, Russell means redhead or fox-like, so that's where that name came from. Mm. And we created a brand marketing agency. And after about 10 years of that, I realized that I was actually doing more consulting than actually doing. And I had 12 staff members or what have you, and they were doing all the doing and I was doing the consulting. Yes. And I discovered shortly after that, which I should have known, every day, but I sort of had the realization that those 12 staff members were making up half of the turnover and I was making up the other half of the turnover. And mine was profitable and theirs was break even. So I ended up selling the production side of the business to a colleague of mine who was able to do a lot better with it. And I went directly into consulting, still keeping Crimson Fox, but just focusing on consulting and then eventually niching into helping consultants because I really like working with smart people. And what I find is those smart people can help a lot more people, but the challenge is that they've got challenges with the marketing. They've often got challenges with the sales in that they're just telling people what they need to do instead of actually connecting with them and meeting them where they're at and helping them take steps. And so I was able to consult to consultants and get them better and bigger incomes, and then help them to build a business either as a lifestyle business if that's what they wanted, or they can actually build a bit of an empire. Completely up to them. So I started a program around that, the Forge Business Program. I've also got the Consulting Guild, which is a community that I run. And that's the work that I do today. I do absolutely enjoy it. I've got flexible work. I can select the people I work with, and I think that's the opportunity for anyone who wants to get into consulting.
Yeah, well, that's the ultimate, isn't it? Ultimate, work your own hours. And that's funny, sometimes, guys, we'll work 60 hours so we don't have to work 40 hours for somebody else. right? And when it's a passion, it's not work. It really isn't close. What's been the most challenging aspect of your work, and how have you overcome that?
Probably originally was like learning to manage people. I got a lot of good trainers and coaches to help me along the way, and I think that it's always a good idea to get those people on board with you. But at the end of the day, I became a better manager, but then found that as we enter this new phase of technology and higher leverage, you can actually do a lot more with a lot less. And so the new evolution of the business, we have a couple of team members that work around the world with me. I speak to them each week, and they do their part of the role. I do my part of the role, which is just about basically speaking to other consultants and helping them grow their business. So
pretty awesome.
Challenging, would probably be the people aspect and management, but there are a lot of really, really good books, and obviously you can get good trainers and coaches to help you along.
Go back over that and tell us the important moment in your career, that aha moment that pretty much changed your direction.
Well, there's always one of them, isn't there? Yeah. There was. Yeah. And I don't talk about it too much, but when I was 38, I suddenly turned into a 60-year-old man because I had a perforated bowel.
Wow.
And, I've been running along in my business for 10 years by that point, and which funnily coincided with my realization. I was forced to actually not work. And so I was forced to lie in a bed in hospital for 2 weeks, and I sort of started to think about what I was actually doing, whether I enjoyed it, where to go next. Yeah, bowel surgery is it's a tough thing to take, and it's a sudden moment when you realize that you're not a superhuman anymore. And now I've got a good story I can speak to a lot of older blokes about. But that moment of actually being in hospital and being forced not to work and to just sit there and think. And it was the big one. So there's a lot of people rushing forward in their businesses without really thinking about where they're going. So that was mine.
I get it. I very much get it. And the older I get, the wiser I get, which is funny, but you sort of feel like it's too late. In fact, my bucket list, I'm pissed off because on my bucket list, there's no way I'm going to live long enough to do them all. But I'm going to try and knock over as many as I can.
Hey, do the ones you want. Do the ones you can.
That's right. Well, I've got them in order, so do my best. But God laughs at people with plans. Right.
Yeah, it does.
In your opinion, what are the key qualities or skills that have contributed to your amazing success?
Asking dumb questions would be the number one thing. Ask the question even if you feel like you're going to get embarrassed by asking it, because if you can ask that question, not only will it help you, it'll help the other people in the room.
I say that all the time. That's so true.
It's the number one. And then constantly learning. I'm always doing something, and that doesn't have to be just focused on business.
No, sure.
I taught myself how to do blacksmithing nearly 10 years ago now, and it's just by looking at YouTube, reading some books, listening to people, spending time in communities, and you learn things along the way. So staying curious, I think, is key. So dumb questions.
For those who don't know, what is blacksmithing, please?
So it's not a farrier. So a farrier actually shoes horses with horseshoes. The blacksmith might make a horseshoe, but really it's a metal basher, a person that heats up metal to a critical temperature and then actually moves and shapes it into all sorts of different things.
Yeah. Did you do some art with that? You ever muck around and do some?
Yeah. I made this fantastic looking Australian Christmas wreath that sits on the door during Christmas time now, and it's got gum nuts and gum leaves and things. It's fantastic.
Yeah, pretty awesome. I thought that might be the case. Tell me, how do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in this exciting field that we're in?
It's interesting because I am always excited about what's going on.
Yeah.
And so, whether it's artificial intelligence or it's even just looking way back in time and going, that's how Barnum actually did his marketing, and realizing how I can attach that into
that's interesting, isn't it? That one, There's almost nothing new apart from AI, guys. I'm telling you, from a marketing point of view, there's almost nothing new. It's all being done. So just follow. Don't be a Boy Scout. Don't be out the front. Be in the middle. Just follow the guys that have already done it. Right?
We've got access to it now, and the thing that people don't even realize that YouTube is the best website in the world. You can find old interviews from 1970 with these those geniuses who created a lot of the psychological thought of today, they're all available and they're talking about stuff, and they've got the tiny amount of views on the channel. I'm like, what is going on?
Your Zig Ziglars, your Dan Kennedys.
Yeah, absolutely. I regret missing
Gary
the opportunity to speak with Zig Ziglar. It would have been fantastic. But I actually sat down and I was drinking tequila with Brian Tracy one day in Denver. That was fun.
Awesome. What a great story that is. Wow. Yeah. You've had some adventures, my friend, because he's one of the better ones. I'm just trying to think of the one I've missed out. The one I like, I've got to tell you the audience this story. There's a guy called, you probably do know him, Chet Holmes. I forget the name of the book, but I read a book.
Oh, of him, yeah.
Yeah, I read a book from Chet Holmes, and Chet said at one stage he advertised for staff, right? He wanted a gun salesman. So people would ring up, he'd put the ad in, people would ring up and they go, oh, hello, Mr. Holmes? And he'd go, yes. And then they'd talk for a few minutes and he'd go, mate, you're not suitable. And the guy would go, oh, I guess you'd know. Sorry, I wasted your time. And then someone like Russell rang up and said, he talked to him and he said to Russell, I'm not hearing salesperson. And Russell said to him, well, you must be fucking deaf. And then Chet said, come on in. You're the guy.
Yeah. I actually had a client once that I sent them a proposal, and I don't do proposals these days, but I sent him a proposal back in the day, and he goes, I feel no heart in this. I don't feel like we should go forward. And so I wrote him this manifesto, just pouring my heart out into it, and he received it. He wrote back, let's get started.
Yeah, interesting. Oh, yeah, the fun and games. Marketing's so much fun, guys. It's so much fun. Tell us about a recent project or achievement you're particularly proud of.
I think it's the work that I'm doing these days. It's less about doing it for people and actually enabling them to do it for themselves. So there's some great clients inside the Forge who are really kicking some goals, and just my ability to help them just take the step. Now, we've got one guy who went from 0 to, I think, 9 referrals in 6 months. He added an extra $350,000 to his bottom line, but not by doing anything fancy, just a couple of very simple things. But if you can help someone actually do those simple things, that's where the difference is, because marketing's not that hard. Marketing's fairly easy. Sales is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But most people will hesitate. Most people will stop before doing the simple thing because they usually think it can't be that easy, or sometimes there's a value issue where they don't think they're worth it. But the people that can do those simple steps, they get big wins.
Yeah. What annoys me, there's so many freebie seekers out there, guys. Invest in yourself. I get people, I kid you not, almost every day saying to me, Jeff, do you think I should pay $20 to get ChatGPT?
Yeah, that's right. I'm like, if you don't have a paid version of something like that, then you're not serious.
No. By the way, guys, a true story. I'm a bit of a nutcase. I have a bill, and I can show anyone wants to see it, $2,000 US of software per month. Programs I'm involved in, and guess what? I call it my tool shed. And guess what, guys? I only use half the tools, but I've got the tools there if I want them. I don't know which one I'm going to pick up next. But those tools make me a shitload of money. So, guys, invest in yourself.
100%. I think that I'm on $21,000 of like $50 and less subscriptions. So
there you go.
It does make a difference.
And they add up. But pick the ones that you resonate with. Go with them for 2 or 3 months, guys. Try them out. And if you don't like them, get rid of them and replace it with something else. Right?
Yeah, but these days you don't have to pay for an office. You're not shelling out $20,000 for that sort of stuff. Yeah. Put it into something that's going to give you leverage. You get time back, and you actually get to do more.
And time is money, guys. It's so darn true. Right. What advice would you give a 20-year-old Russell to follow in your footsteps? What would you tell Russell, who's just walked in the door today, 20 years? He's only 20.
I would tell 20-year-old Russell to put $100 into an index fund every single day. Every single week.
Yeah.
And don't touch it. And just watch it accumulate. That's what I would say. But if I was talking about business and if I was talking about work, I would probably I invested in coaches pretty quickly, but there were times when my ego got the better of me, and I thought I don't need a coach.
It always does, right? We got to get in our own way.
Yeah, and I started to feel like that the other day, so I just invested in another coach myself, spent $10,000, and I'm like really happy with the decision. So I would make sure I always had someone on board to help me take the next step, so that I wasn't getting comfortable. That's one of the things I think that happened very early in my business. Is I got a little comfortable because I had.
And guys, it's not always about the money. It's about the adventure. It's about the lifestyle. Guys, the money just flows. If you do what you do well, the money just flows. I promise you guys, it just flows, right? They can be started, guys. Tell me, looking ahead, what are your goals and aspirations for the future, Russell? You got a long way to go yet.
So goals and aspirations for the future. I want to engage more people in the community. We've got this the guild. I want to try and create this space where we can have the top 1% of consultants. And what I mean by that is not that they're just being paid at the top 1%, though that'll come, that they are incredibly good at helping people to get results, not by doing the work for them, but by enabling them to do it. So one part mentoring, one part coaching, all consulting. I'm really working on that area, especially with artificial intelligence coming through.
Yes.
It knows what to do. It knows the answers. Knowledge work is kind of done. Now is the time for us to be the guide for humans to take steps that humans won't take. Lovely.
So you're going to leave a legacy. Interesting. One of my guests,
I hope so, yeah.
One of my guests the other day, Russell, guess what she said? You're going to love it. You're going to love it. I'm going to start a movement on this. You ready? She said, Jeff, people should be a better human. And I thought, shit, how good is that? If everyone was a better human, what a great world it would be. And seriously, I thought, how simple is that? I thought, how can I, Jeff Veale, start a movement on be a better human? Maybe a series of
there's a lot I could talk about in that space, and I think the biggest one, there's a movie, an animated movie by Disney called WALL-E, and it talks about this robot that ends up like doing everything for everybody, and the humans in this are these Play-Doh looking people who just float around on chairs and everything's done for them. Yeah. And you find out at the end of the movie that they're actually just humans that look like us, and they turned into these Play-Doh people because they didn't do anything for themselves. And I think part of being a better human is finding ways to challenge yourself better so that you can, if you want to get stronger, lift heavier weights. If you want to get smarter, look at harder problems. There's things we need to challenge ourselves.
Great advice. All right. Tell us, we're going to wrap it up shortly. How can our listeners reach out and find out more about you and your wonderful services? What's the best way?
Well, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube. Again, back to that point, if you look up Russell Pearson, SSL, the way Russell should be spelt, on YouTube, you'll find my podcast and my other videos there. And you can also go to russellpearsonprograms.com if you are thinking about doing some consulting, because there's a free resource you can download. Yeah, awesome. I guess you're on LinkedIn, of course. All the different platforms. And we'll be putting this all across every social media planet known to man, guys, and with all Russell's social media links. So reach out to him in some shape, manner, or form. Because once again, Russell, I spoke about this earlier, you don't know what you don't know. And Russell may have the answer. And I believe in Russell. I believe Russell could easily double your business in 12 months or less, providing you do the work. He can't do it for you. You got to turn up, guys. That's a fact. Before we wrap it up, Russell, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people don't know, apart from being a blacksmith. I would say that apart from being a blacksmith, that I actually am a crazy hobby nut. I do everything from ant collecting and creating ant farms through to a little bit of taxidermy, through to a little bit of glass making. There's all sorts of little things that I get involved in because I like learning. I like the experience of something new.
And that's what it's about, guys. It's about having hobbies, guys. You got to have hobbies. You got to diversify, guys. It can't be all work. You'll end up in the mental farm. But so you got to have hobbies and outlets. So once again, Russell, thanks for being on the show today. And guys, think about it. A TV commercial back in Melbourne would probably set you back about 30 grand. And what they'd do, they'd go and get a burger, they'd grab a beer, or they'd go to the toilet and miss the commercial completely. 10 radio spots on the same going to set you back between 3 and 5 grand, and they invariably play them at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning when no one's listening. Come on, 15 minutes of fame, and we'll put you across, as I said earlier, all the social media channels, your LinkedIn's, your Reddit, your Quora, my Facebook group with 6,500 members, and of course, as Russell's favourite, YouTube, with all your social media links so people can reach, potentially putting you in front of hundreds of people, and people you resonate with can reach out and find out more about your wonderful services. You've been an awesome guest, Russell. It's been a pleasure being on the show today, my friend.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.